Hey, you guys, what is going on? So, it's another week in the market, and I am excited to be here with you guys. I'm really excited because I think the market has some really good opportunities. And anytime I do a YouTube video or I do an email or something, um, I'm always asked, like, Shaquan, how do you find the currency pairs that you're looking at? Or how do you know when to enter a trade, when to exit a trade? And honestly, you guys, it all boils down to research. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I research my currency pairs to find what I trade every week. But what I really want to hit home with y'all tonight is that I don't trade the same currencies every single week because I'm looking for opportunities. I like in trading to like hide and seek. I remember when I was young and we used to play hide and seek. Sometimes we would play hide and seek in the dark. And if you ever played hide and seek in the dark, like we would play like in the streets or something. But you know it's scary because you don't know what's like around the corner. You don't know where the person is hiding. If they're hiding in bushes, you don't know if it's a cat or a dog. That like you just don't know what's there. And so you're a little bit hesitant to go in certain corners in certain places, right? If you play hide and seek in the dark. But if you play in the daytime, you feel a bit more confident because you can see more than what you can see at night. And I like in trading to be just like that. For me, I just think you do way better when you can see things very clearly. And that's where research comes into play. Like for me, when I research currency pairs, I'm looking for opportunities that fit my rule. Like I need to see things clearly. And if I don't see things clearly on a certain currency pair, then I bypass that pair and I go on to the next best thing. Last year, I went through like actually the past 2 years, I feel like I've been on this scavenger hunt to find what pairs work for me. But I don't think I can name one particular thing. Like, you ever seen a person who's like really good at everything? It's hard to tell that person to niche down and pick one thing because they're really good at multiple things. My thing is, I see opportunities everywhere. And so I don't want to say, well, let me limit myself to this one thing. Because with me primarily being a swing trader, I don't have opportunities every week in the market on the same currency pair. Some of my setups could take weeks to set up or months to set up. So if I traded one pair, I may in 1 year only have 12 setups if it's a good year. I'll give you guys an example. Euro USD, I only traded it twice last year. That's it. In all of 2022, I've only had it two trades because it just fit my rules twice. That's it. So imagine if I stuck to one pair, right? But let's talk about the kind of research that I like to do. And once again, hey to everybody, whether you're here on YouTube or Trading View. And let me give it up to my Trading View people because last week that last stream got 4,000 views. Actually, I believe it's around 4,200 views on Trading View. So to my Trading View people, thank you. I love you guys. So I'm trying to get my reach up on Trading View. And if you're here on YouTube and you're not following me on Trading View, make sure you're following me there because I put way more things out there on TradingView than I do here on YouTube. And then if you're on my email list, make sure you guys go through my website, slfxtrading.com, to get on my newsletter because every week I send at least one or two emails with some really great trading tips. And there's a blog over there. I'm just like giving like dope content, dope emails, dope blogs over there. So make sure y'all go there too, okay? Hey Jess Mouse, how you doing, Kim? How you doing, sweetheart? So let's talk about the type of research that I do to find what I want to trade every single week, right? Remember that I told you guys that I am looking for opportunities that fit my rules. My rules. I think that's really important. You got to figure out what works for you. In the beginning of my trading career, when I first started 6 years ago, I had no idea who I was as a trader. I had no idea. So over the years, I began to put things together and say, okay, I like this and I like that. And I came up with my TMP strategy concept to help me find pretty areas in the market. I like to trade pretty. That's how I feel. I trade pretty. I also trade things that take me less than 3 to 5 minutes to set up. Like I want my work to literally take 5 minutes. Holding the trade is a lot longer, but if I put a value on it, it only takes me 5 minutes to technically make money, right? And I'll explain that more as I go on. So my research, get fired up YouTube, exactly. My research style is technical analysis. Like, that's the type of trader that I am. I am a technical analyst. I love price charts. Like, when I'm working with my clients and I see a pretty area, especially when we're back testing, it just does something to my soul. I'm like, oh my God, look how beautiful this is. Like, look what price did here. Like, I love seeing trending areas because there's no confusion in it. And I am not a fundamentalist. If you have been following me for these past few years, then you know that I just don't like fundamentals because the news just gives me anxiety. I liken it to school. When I was in school and we had word problems, I hated word problems. But if you gave me the numbers, I could figure out the problems with just the numbers. But to sit here and say, well, if the interest rates are raising, then what's going to happen next? Or if this CPI data comes out, what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm not in the boardroom with the people making the decision before everybody else sees it. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is fundamentals makes me want to run away from the chart, like from the trade. I can't see numbers until after they release. Then you want me to make a decision? I'm not going to make a decision. But if I can see what's going on the chart, and I don't use all the data on the chart. If you guys have been once again following me for a while, then you know that for me personally, I like current news, like current price movement. I need to see what's going on now. I liken it to a relationship. I want to see who you are now. Give me the person who you are now and who you're becoming, because the past will always change. So I look at price as a her. She's telling me a story. So I love technical analysis. Then I look at sentiment. Now, sentiment is different per person. Sentiment can be feelings, but also sentiment can tell you how many people are long and how many people are short. But because I worked in banks when I was younger, I look at sentiment as consumers, the people who are buying the actual currency. The word buy here is going to be very important. When I worked in banks, all I did was work with buyers, right? I'm working with people who wanted to exchange currencies, which means they had to buy a particular currency, right? So I'm looking at the prices that they're buying. uh I dealt a lot with the euro. So if Americans came to me, they say, hey, Shaquan, can I buy 100 euros? Well, I'm looking at what's called a conversion rate. And that's exactly what we trade in the Forex market. We trade what's called conversion rates. People from one country are converting or exchanging their currency into another currency. And our brokers allow us to trade that as a living or for a living, right? So I use my banking knowledge to actually trade. And so I'm looking at these people like, okay, you're buying at this price, you're buying at that price. Okay, the rate changes every single day. So now you got to buy it at this price and buy it at that price. And so I'm thinking about the actual consumers, the people who travel, the people who tour, the people who have to pay bills, the people who buy it because of their expenses, like whatever the case may be. And now I'm using my chart analysis to say what price makes them feel good to buy the currency, because we do the same thing in real life. I like sneakers. I'm always a buyer of sneakers. I'm never the seller. I'm never the seller. So I always want to buy it at a price that feels comfortable to me. And if I like the sneaker and it's comfortable, I'll buy the sneaker in another color. So I'm always the buyer. But as a trader, and this is where it gets interesting, as a trader, as it relates to trading, now I'm thinking, how can I participate as a seller or a buyer? That's where the analysis comes in as well too. So I'm always looking at sentiment of people. Then I look at performance. Now, I don't do technical indicators. If y'all see my charts are fairly naked. I just don't, I'm the indicator. That's how I see it. I'm the one who's deciding to buy or sell. But the indicator doesn't do anything for me, basically. And if I keep an indicator on my chart, it will be moving averages, only because I have such clean charts. I'm a video gamer. So sometimes Filling in white spaces with color matters, especially if you're a video gamer. You know exactly what I mean. When you have to dress your character, you're going to dress them in colors that matter to you. So I like to dress my chart with extra colors that kind of helps the white space. I can have an indicator like my moving average on my chart and completely ignore them, but it just kind of feeds the white space in my head and it makes my chart pop. And that's pretty much it. But I don't typically use indicators, but TradingView has an indicator that I actually like. It's a performance based indicator that I use to say if I agree with where they say it's a good place to buy or sell. We're not really a place, but overall with the movement, if it's a good idea to buy or sell this currency pair, you guys will see what I talk about when I look here. Okay. Now, another type of research that I like to do is based on myself. It's based on my feelings and it's called conviction. My conviction is my belief. I have to have high conviction or low conviction to place a trade on what's going on currently. If I have high conviction in something, then I'm more than likely to want to trade that specific currency pair. But if I have low conviction, that just means I don't even believe in what's going on the chart. So I'm just going to bypass it, right? Now, my belief comes with this. This is the important part. I already know that I don't know what's going to happen next. I have no idea what's going to happen next once I place that trade. I don't know. I'm 50-50 in everything. I can think things will go my way. Hey Casey, how are you? I can think that I have a good setup and then all of a sudden I lose the trade. It doesn't make me a loser. It just means I lost the trade. And I have parameters set that tells me, okay, Shaquan, well, if you lost a trade, this is why. So I already know beforehand if I lose a trade, why it happened. If I win a trade, well, it's because price is trending. Like it's only one of two things: price reversed and I got stopped out, so I lost a trade, or price is trending, so I won the trade. So I set parameters up to make me feel good about my position, and that took me years to do. Because in the beginning, when I would trade, if I lost a trade, I would not have any idea why I lost a trade. And that would make me go on a journey of trading my technique, trying to figure out what indicators worked. Like it just wasn't in the beginning of my trading career. Losing wasn't good for me. And I just think it's the video game mentality of always wanting to be a winner, right? Um, but yeah, I just go into every trade not knowing what's going to happen, but I just use my technique to get me into trades. Also, what helps my conviction is knowing where I'm going to place my stop loss and my take profit. If I don't have those set, I don't have high conviction in my trade and I won't set the trade up because that's a part of the research process. And the third part for my belief is I can only care about my trade and no one else's. And here's what I mean. I don't go to other people to say validate my trade. I don't. Hey Veronica, how you doing, sweetheart? I don't go to other people and say, what do you think about my trade? What do you think about my setup? The moment I have to ask someone that, I don't believe in myself. I put myself out of the expert shoes. I used to do that years ago and I realized how detrimental that was because I don't have confidence in myself. And when I took off social media from my, like, I stopped being on Instagram for a while, which I'm off of now. The people who I would follow on YouTube, I stopped following them years ago. I said, listen, if I want to get good at this, I got to figure it out for myself. Um, so I learned to only care about myself in what I see, right? Now, what I do that I have my technique, now I'm working on my psychology. And the only way I'm going to work on it is to care about myself first. And so that's what helps my belief. And a part of this, and this is the last part before we get onto the charts, is my risk percentage. I've been teaching my students. If y'all don't know, I do teach. I teach my technique because, I mean, it just works, right? But I teach my technique to people who want to learn. But my job isn't to trade for people. My job is to help them see how they can trade for themselves. And that's what I do. One of my students, she says I'm more like a performance coach. And I actually like that. I kind of am like a performance coach because I do track people's performance. And I do it while I'm helping them learn my technique because the markets are forever changing And I'm there to adapt and teach how people how to adapt to markets that change. But one thing that we're focused on this year is risk percentage or priority. And this is time frame analysis. And we're putting the puzzle together. This is my first year collecting data like this. And I'm excited because I'm looking for more peace of mind trades that fit my strategy. And so I'm going to show you guys how I do that here tonight. And if along the way, if you guys have questions, please ask those questions so that I can answer them for you. There may be some questions that I may not be able to answer or may have to get through another video or another live stream or something. But just know that I'm here to talk, okay? I love talking about what it is that I do. So the first thing we're going to go over, let's just go over CAD Yen. Now, if you follow me on TradingView, I talked about this pair and how I was able to trade this pair last week. And, I stayed in the trade for a week and it hit profit last week, right? So once again, if you're not following me on TradingView, make sure you are so you can go and you can see what this video was, okay? But now I want to trade it again. Why do I want to trade it again? Once again, it goes into my high conviction because I want to trade on it last week. That's why I want to trade it again. This is called updating your chart and following up. You're adapting to new price movement. And the new price movement is price made a new low. And I was in this trade. I held it from the top. I sold it down. I got out of the trade at the previous low. Now I want to do this again because it's fun. This is what I call a pretty area. Any area that is trending is pretty to me. And if it looks like this from back in December, Shaquan doesn't trade it because I don't trade consolidation. I don't trade a mess. Okay? That's life. That's actually life. So let's look at what it is that I'm researching. Let's talk about the consumers first. Because remember, I told you I play on sentiment and I use my banking knowledge. So here, let's just go back to the past. 95.41 was the previous low before price made a new low. Now, if I'm the consumer, if I'm the person who stays in Japan and I'm the one buying the Canadian dollar, I like buying this price. And I'm going to ask you guys this. What price would you prefer to buy the Canadian dollar? Would you want to buy it at $95.41? Or would you want to buy it at the previous price, the highest price of $99.30? We as humans buy at low prices. You're going to say, wait a minute, it was cheaper to buy a Canadian dollar for $95.41. I don't want to buy it at $99.30. That's the key. That is the cue. So when I came into this market and I'm looking at the opportunity, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think they would want to buy back at this high price because price declined and it made a new low. So I am going to sell this information, but I'm not going to sell low. I want price to pull back but stay below $99.30. I'm sorry, 99 Canadian dollars and 30 cents. Because if it does, the Canadians are also going to want to see price stay below $99, or the people in Japan are also going to want to see price stay below $99.30 Canadian dollars. Think about the price of oil or the price of gas. If you were to go to a gas station when gas was high, right? Would you want to buy gas at $4 or $3? You're going to say $3. Now, if gas goes up to $3.50, you don't want to see it go back up to $4, but you're still going to buy it at $3.50 and a lot more because in your mind, you're hoping price declines again because it went from $4 to $3, then $3.50. You may hope it goes down to $2.99. So that's what's in my mind, right? But the people who stay in Japan who do business with Canada, they're going to buy the Canadian dollar at any price anyway. But I care about where they're going to be buying and buying next, right? So that's why I was able to get into this sale under $99.30 and trade back down to the low. Now they're happy again. And then this goes back to you. Would you, if you lived in Japan and you're doing business with Canada, would you want to buy the Canadian dollar at 95, or would you want to buy at 99? You're going to want to buy still back at 95 because now you're lower than the previous low. So now in my mind, this is where I want to participate. I don't want to see price go back above 99 Canadian dollar. All right. So this is where now I am going to set my parameters. One, I know my stop. And it's so simple. It's 99. That's it. Right? 99 Canadian dollars. Just that simple. Because it's already on the chart before price even moved. This is updating the chart. And where I want to enter the trade, and I'm here to tell you guys now, like when I teach my estimation zone, it is personal to every single trader that I teach. There is psychology behind my estimation zones. And the way that every person sets them is so personal because we're dealing with time frames, we're dealing with risk to reward, and we're dealing with multiple candles just like this from time to time. So to teach your zone, and this is why I like to do one-on-one sessions, is because I have to speak in the trader's language, in your language, and everyone does not have the same language. Okay. But I have my zone set, and I know that anywhere within this range, if price stays below 99 Canadian dollars, I am the seller. Why am I the seller? Because price is in a downtrend. And this is a pretty area. And so this is all I know. And so this will go on my watch list because I can say yes, because I make yes statements as well. That's what my TMP strategy is built on, saying yes. And if I say one no, I cannot trade that currency pair. So yes, price is in a downtrend. Yes, I know where I want to enter the trade. Yes, I know where my take profit and my stop loss will be. So yes, I can set a pending order. So this will go on my watch list. I'll set my pending order. I'll set a sell limit. I know where my take profit is. I know where my stop loss is. I set it. Shaquan is done. And this literally takes me less than 3 to 5 minutes to do. Probably less than that, especially because I set quick pending orders. So it's probably less than that. And so if I'm triggered into the trade, I just let the trade run. And mind you guys, this is on a daily time frame. But once I take profit in a trade, it's literally 5 minutes of work. The only thing I had to do was just let the trade run. But if I'm stopped out, and this is where conviction comes in as well. Let's talk about risk management for a quick second. When it comes to risk management, the thing that I'm always noticing, and I trade prop firms, and I do also still have my own personal account. Well, I risk less than what I'm supposed to because I have to adhere to the drawdown limit rule and the daily drawdown limit rule. Because if I see one opportunity, I may see more opportunities. You see what I'm saying? And I try my best to stay below the daily drawdown rule. I don't want to get anywhere close to the overall rule. So my goal is to cap myself at the daily drawdown rule. And that's why I risk less than what I'm supposed to. And so a trade like this, and this is where risk reward is going to come at. This is one of my factors that for my high conviction. This trade is a 2.51 risk to reward trade for me. I will trade this. And on my watch list, because I'm watching this, I'm going to mark this red because this lets me know, watch it. And if you're triggered into the trade, change it to green. So now I'm just organizing my watch list for myself. And this is how I research what pairs to trade. So let's go over another one still in the yen category. So this is pound yen. And I've not traded pound yen in a while because it's not fit my setup. Oh God, it's been months. It's been months since I've traded this currency pair. But once again, it goes back to what I said from the beginning. I personally don't trade the same currency pair every single week. I just don't. Can you do a training on pending orders, buy limit, sell limit? I surely can. I can do a training on that. Yes, ma'am, I can. That's an easy training. That is not hard at all. So let's talk about this one. I want you guys to see this. I told you I was going to talk about the performance indicator or the performance that TradingView gives. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, and I think I've talked about this before here on TradingView, or I probably did a live on this before. It's from the Forex screener video, but um you can look at the performance through TradingView and what it tells you about the currency pair. So here you guys can see that last week price dropped 2.31%. For the month, pound yen is down 6.42%. 3 months, 7.6. But year to date, down 1.6%, right? But this is actually important to know because it's showing you the strength of pound yen. Now, if you look here where it says technicals, and I'm going to click on the more technicals button to show you what it does, you can see that the technicals say you should be looking for a sell. My job, your job, is to see if you agree with that. Do you agree with the fact that TradingView is telling you you should sell this currency pair? That's where the TMP strategy is going to come in at. So if I click on more technicals, I'm going to show you guys the quickest way I figure out why it's saying to sell. Remember, I mentioned moving averages. I think there are two strong indicators that if I had to use indicators, I would use them. And it is the RSI, the relative strength index, and it's not for divergence, it is for momentum. And I would use moving averages. I like moving averages with a shorter average. So like the 10, 20s, 30s, 50s, I love those. But if I have moving averages on my chart, they're typically between 10 and 20 periods because of the daily candlestick. So I'm looking to count the average of the last 10 candlesticks or 20 candlesticks because for me, it takes 21 to 22 daily candles to create one monthly candlestick. So I want to see how price flows for every single month. That's why I like to keep moving averages between 10 and 20. And you can see it says sell, 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 right? That's good. That means that there's a trend there somewhere. And so my job is to figure out when I come to the price chart if I agree with this. And if I don't agree, that's fine. I'm still going to trade how I trade. Remember, you're the indicator. I'm the indicator, right? So when we look here on the price chart, we can see that pound yen, and let me move this over. Pound yen was at 158.61, and then 162.337, and then 155.386. This is a downtrend. This is a beautiful, fabulous downtrend. But I want you guys to notice what's going on for this week. Am I in this trade? No, I like CAD Yen from the previous week a lot better. But where we are now, if I had to put this on my watch list, I would not put this on my watch list because, for one, price came back into my zone last week, but we have not passed the previous low. That means that price can do one of two things. It can go past my low and create a new low. Then it goes on my watch list for me to watch. Or price could pull back this week. I am a trend trader. I want to trade with the trend, but I don't want to catch the meat in the middle because I want a good risk to reward. Because if I had to sit here and try to sell, remember, take profit and stop loss. I have a consistent take profit and stop loss. It never, ever changes. The rules never change, but my stop loss will go all the way up here. And then my take profit is here. So I would have a horrible risk to reward. So what this means is that this does not go on my watch list for this week. I can't trade it. And that's a no. So automatically I cross it off my list. I don't add a color to it. So I take off the color and I just move on. Let's go to USD JPY. I'm gonna show you guys y'all see how I'm keeping this consistent, right? The quicker you can say no when you trade multiple currency pairs, the better it is for you to find your yes. It's like anything. If you did business with real estate, if you like, I do business with people, right? One-on-ones on my forte. The quicker I can say no to a person I'm not supposed to work with, and I say no to a lot of people, but the quicker I can say yes to the right person I'm supposed to work with, right? That's just business. It's like having the Apple and the Android conversation. No to Android, yes to Apple. I'm an Apple fan. I'm biased. My bad. Okay. I'm really biased. But that is this. Currencies are a business. They're the product. They are the supply. Okay. So let's continue forward and continue on. This will be the last one that we look at because honestly, if you can do this with 2 currencies, 3 currencies, you can do this with 5, 10, 20. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't say go that high. But the better you are at compiling your watch list, you won't be as overwhelmed. You would not be as overwhelmed. Okay. So this is the last one we're gonna do, but let's look at USD JPY, a major currency pair. So here you guys can see that price was in a downtrend. This is such a beautiful flow. Like, let's just look at it for a quick second. Okay. You have a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And it's funny because right here, it looked like price, and this actually happened, price reversed because this high is higher than the previous high. I actually got stopped out here. I was in 2 sales and I got stopped out. And I said, okay, if I'm stopped out, that means that price may potentially, and potential is a key word, go back up to the upside, but it didn't. And so now we have a new low. Great. I got to update. Like, just because you lose in a trade, once again, I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning, it doesn't make you a loser. It does not make you a loser. You just have to update to what price is actually doing, right? So I lost a trade. I didn't jump back in because once again, I got CAD Swiss on my hands, right? So CAD Swiss made up for the small loss. So now I'm back here and it's like, okay, well, I know where I don't want price to go. I know that price has, and I'm going to get this off, price made a new low. So now I'm going to update. If price can pull back and stay below 134.789, I have a huge range price can come and test. It can test anywhere in here, and that's fine. But I know where my stops will go, and I know where my take profit will go, and I know where I want to enter the trade. So I'm going to set a sell limit. But I want you guys to see something here. I have a bigger range to work with than I did CAD JPY. So the risk to reward on CAD JPY was over a 1 to 2. This one is sitting around a 1.71. So let's talk about conviction again and choosing what it is that I trade. If I got CAD JPY, oh my God, this is so good. Because it goes into to what I say. I'm testing this year risk versus priority trading. This is my priority right now. But now I got 2 trades in a similar field. USD JPY, CAD JPY. CAD JPY was a 1 to 2 risk reward trade. This one is a 1.71 risk to reward trade. I got to choose which one out of those I would prefer to trade. I can trade both. There is nothing wrong with trading both because I'm going to go in at a lower risk percentage anyway. So that's fine. Okay. Now, with that being said, if I had to choose one over the other, I would probably choose CAD Yen because I have a lower stop loss and I have a bigger risk to reward, and these are similar setups. So I would choose CAD JPY. But knowing me, I'm probably going to trade both because it will put me nowhere near, like having both of these positions on, it would not put me anywhere near my 3% rule for my drawdown, for my daily drawdown. So I'll be fine, right? And this is what researching your pairs look like. So I say yes to these two in this similar field. Actually, out of all the out of all of the JPYs I'm looking at, Swiss yen, USD yen, CAD yen, the others I am not looking at. I do the same thing with the majors. I do the same thing with my other minors. Which ones fit me best? I set my pending orders and then I move forward. Okay. And that's it. That's how I research my currency pairs and I build my weekly watch list. And guess what? I may not trade, like these may trigger. And that's another thing I want to talk about as well too before we go. These pairs may trigger my pending order. They may not put me in a trade. Like there are a lot of times when I set my pending orders, half of them don't even get filled because they move. They have too much momentum to pull that deeply back. And that is even better for me because now I didn't have to worry about all of these trades that I would be in at one time. That's even better. But the setups are there just in case. And if a new high or a new low is made and I wasn't in the position, I just update my chart. Or if there's a reversal, I just update my chart. That's it. Okay. So any questions? Because I really pray that looking at it from a person who actually trades point of view, like this is literally my point of view when I trade, when I'm looking at something. I'm not a person who, like I said, looks to be in the same currency pair every week. I'm not a person who's going to sit and scour over my charts. I'm not a person who's going to overtrade just for the sake of being in trades. I used to do all of those new things when I was a trader. Like those are newbie things. You gotta be in a trade, you gotta be in a trade, you gotta be in the trade. Like I don't have to be in something. Do I want something running? Yes, I do want something running. But at the end of the day, if there's nothing to be done, and if the pair does not fit my setup, I'm not there to force it. And also I'm not there to trade how other people trade. I trade my system and that's it. Okay. So let's do some questions. Princess asks, if I join now for $99, will I always pay that? Yes, it's a monthly recurring payment. And will I have to pay the regular? No. So right now, I am doing this sale for a few reasons. I love talking to traders. Let's put it that way. And my membership is normally $197 a month. Right now, I'm going through limbo where I'm like, you know what? I don't I love having a community, but this year I want to trade a little more than what I normally do. I'm bringing back day trading on or scalping on. So Monday through Thursdays, I do scalp with my students, and we get on from 9:30 to 12. We didn't get on today because it's a holiday, but tomorrow we will be on. And I want to keep my head down and trade, but I want to build a community of traders. I teach a lot. I don't build courses. So anytime I teach, just like how I'm talking to y'all, I teach every single week, just like this, to my students. And then I have one-on-one sessions with clients who pay me to personally walk them through my technique in their language so they can understand with no distractions from anybody. And that takes up time too. But I'm doing this because, you know, I'm trying to see if I'm gonna keep the community open, but shut it off again to just focus on one-on-ones. But if I can help people while this price is low, because this ends tomorrow, like the $99 ends tomorrow. So it's like you're in there or you're not. Because I'm gonna figure out what's gonna work for me. Because if I can teach people how to trade, like typically it takes me 3 hours to teach people how to trade, literally, and they got it. By hour three, they got it. But if I can come on and do it more on a consistent basis, live, teaching people, I prefer to do that. I don't want to build a course, but I want a community of serious traders. I want more serious traders. And that's exactly why I do what I do, why I talk, why I come on like this, right? And so, yeah, but it'd be $99 every single month until you cancel. You can cancel at any time. But also too, soon I'm getting rid of the membership style because I don't like my hosting platform. I just don't like it because it's hard. It's not hard, but I just don't think it's user friendly for the owner of the site. I'll put it to you that way. I don't like that. I prefer to deal with invoices. I don't like monthly memberships, if that makes sense too. So that's just my thing. But it's like, hey, get in where you fit in right now if you believe that I can help you. But if not, there's no sweat off my back, right? There's no sweat off my back. But if it's for you, it's for you. So yeah. Any other questions before we go? Concerning what I talked about as far as researching currency pairs to trade. I think I've seen a question. Do you trade Swiss Yen? Yes, I trade most of the currency pairs. I don't typically get into exotics. The reason why I calculate all of my lot sizes myself. So I'll get on my phone and it's really a really easy formula. It's account balance times risk percentage divided by stop loss. And so I like to be able to calculate my lot sizes as easy as I can. Exotics are a little bit different for me, and I just don't like the way exotics move. So I don't trade those. But as far as all of the majors, I do trade those. And as far as the crosses, I do trade those. I am getting into more indices as far as testing those out. Because some of the indices, I can trade through my prop firm, and I want to learn, what those are and if they help move the currency market. I'm getting into that as well. But if not, I just won't worry about it. Trading the currencies are enough. You don't have to trade everything. Like I'm finding that I was looking at US 30, SPX, and NASDAQ, and those are okay, but I don't really swing trade those often. I don't swing trade those. So yeah, you know, just that. Hey Harrison, how are you? Any other questions, y'all, before I go? Because I believe if you don't have a question, that means you're okay. I really do believe in that. That means you don't have anything else. And I fulfilled what I was supposed to fulfill tonight. And I do want to say thank you guys for who was on here. I really do appreciate you guys. I really, really do. Because we're on late. Like after this, I'm about to go and get in my bed. That's what I do know. All right, you guys. So I think we are good. I don't see any more questions. But if you do guys have any questions, y'all can hit me up on my email. My email should be here in trading, not trading view. Well, actually, in trading view. You can hit me up in trading view. Also, YouTube, they have my email as well. If you do decide to join the membership before tomorrow, it is on discount from 187 a month to 99 a month, but that ends tomorrow. Okay. Uh, I do have a question. I just saw it pull up. Do you think you need a big account to trade on the daily? Yes. Yes, I do. Um, I used to think that you didn't, but yes, you do. The reason being, and I'm going to put this into perspective, I want you to look at this trade right here. This trade is a 1.7 risk reward, but look at the pips. I'm risking 276 pips to gain 474 pips. All right. 1.71 risk reward. If you had a $1,000 account, and let's just say you risked 3%, that's $30. Um, you're literally only going to be able to gain a few dollars from this trade, right? Now, let's just say you had a $10,000 account and you risked 3%. That's $300. Well, you're probably going to risk about a dollar and some change per pip, which means that you're going to walk away with 400 something dollars at the end of the trade. So, which one is better? Trading with the $1,000 account or trading with the $10,000 account? Obviously, we're going to say $10,000 because if you trade it with $1,000 account, you have to over leverage just to make a trade like this work. So, yes, you do need a bigger account to trade per the daily time frame. Now, if I traded my technique on a 30-minute time frame, I could actually get away with the $1,000 account. So time frames matter when you're deciding what to trade. And that's one of the other reasons why I switched over to trading with prop firms. Because instead of using my own $5,000 or $10,000 to trade with, it's better if I can go for a $200,000 account or a $100,000 account. But I also want you to put this into perspective, okay? Um, what is it that you want out of the market per trade? What is your limitation? Like, what's your threshold? If you say, Shaquan, and I want everyone here to do this. If you say, Shaquan, per trade, I want to be able to make and or lose $500. What this means is that you're saying you need an account where if you risk 1% of your account or even less, you can make $500 out of that trade or lose it, but you'll be okay because you still have more money to trade with from that prop firm, right? So if I traded a $50,000 account and I say I don't want to take anything less than $500, I just need to risk 1% to make that 500. That's it. But if I risk 500, I'm going to make more than 500, especially on a trade like this. That's a 1.71 risk to reward, right? So that's something to put into perspective. I always ask traders to start with the end result. The end result is your walk away. At the end of this trade, what are you expecting from it? Majority of the traders expect to win the trade, although we know that's 50-50. But if you win the trade, what is your walkaway? What is that? If it fits all of your rules and it went to your take profit. Now work backwards to figure out how much you need in your trading account to get there. But make sure you're not doing it to where you over leverage. I don't teach the over leverage game. I don't. Because that has led to more blown accounts. But if I can teach you to do it a more safe way, you get ahead more. But I also teach you not to overtrade it, right? But only you can do that. So prayerfully, that makes sense. A long way to keep saying yes, you need a big account to trade the daily, but I wanted to give you context behind why. Okay? That was one of the reasons why I decided to start going with prop firms. So yeah. Yeah, a 50K account it'll do it. The prop firm that I'm with is a one challenge prop firm. You have to make 10%. Your drawdown levers are low. Mine is 3% daily, 6% overall. But I'm fine with those numbers. And I think when you trade a prop firm, you have to be okay with those numbers. Like that's the biggest thing is being okay with what they tell you to do. I mean, because if you withdraw, you're keeping 80% anyway. No brainer, right? Um, but yeah, so that part. So if I have a $50,000 account and I'm like, yo, I just want to make 500, man, that's fine. And that's just one trade. They didn't even talk about the other trades that you'll be in. Because some trades, like if I take y'all to the last trade that I was in on CAD Yen, this last trade, how much was this one? This is a beautiful setup. This was around a 1 to 4 trade, So let's just say you risk $500 and you can gain 4 times more. Risking 500 just got you $2,000, and that's on a daily time frame. So risking 76 pips to gain, around that is plus or minus to gain 300 and something pips. Like, you would want a big account, for those numbers. Okay, so yeah, you got to have a big account, sweetie. I can't say it any other way. Okay. But it doesn't like we have any more questions, and I do have to get off of here, you guys. I'll be back on here next Monday. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Okay. You guys be blessed, and I will talk to you guys in our next live stream next Monday. Good night, everybody.